What I tell you fellas about shooting. Aim small, miss small. Boys, Samuel, steady. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. We're going to talk about 5 quick 3v3 remods, because 3v3 is hard, and there are things that we got to do to make it easier on ourselves, guys. Now, this isn't... I don't know how easy it's going to be for you guys to get there. You don't even have to do it. I haven't done all of them yet either, but there are things to help you guys just understand. I mean, 3v3 is obviously very different than 5v5, and there are a few dynamics that just change. Like counters, you're like, okay, well, I'm not using this anymore because we're using this. I mean, there's no greater change in 3v3 versus 5v5 than the utility of General Grievous. Grievous is an amazing character in 5v5. He kills something every time for pretty good banners, usually. He is so useful. And in 3v3, it's like, I guess you can just sit on the bench if you want. No, I said get on the bench, Grievous, okay? So, I mean, that's essentially what's going on with him. And so I'm going to highlight those changes, and we'll get you out of here as quick as we can. We're trying to make this one quick, guys. We'll see if that actually happens. Whoa, we're in the game. Madness. How did we get next to Wampa? Look at his claws, guys. I'm always like, why do you have such long fingernails? Then I realized they're claws, and they're literally there to rip your face off. So the first change is something I haven't done yet, guys. I haven't done all of these because I don't know how worthwhile it is for, like, I don't know if it's worth the mental hardship. Now that sounds so dramatic, but I'm not going to do all these remods myself either. I will probably do this one, though. Wampa in 5v5, a lot of times, you're going to use Wampa to take out Iden Versio teams. And that's great. You know, there's the whole escalation between those two squads is very interesting to see. We'll eventually get a third like squad that kind of interacts with them, I think, but right now it's just Wampa versus Iden. And so in 3v3 though, it's different, because in 3v3 it's like if you survive long enough, it doesn't matter if Iden stuns your Wampa. It doesn't matter. Like in 5v5, if Iden gets she gets enough potency on her to stun Wampa, then you go in with Wampa and she stuns him, then it's game over, because she gets a whole 2 rounds of shooting at him, and that team does so much damage they take him out. In 3v3, it doesn't matter if she gets 2 turns of shooting on him. He's gonna be fine. He'll just be annoyed, but he'll be fine, because 3v3 she can't bring as much firepower to bear. And so, because you're not worried about getting that stun initially, and that's really the only squad that you're worried about, him getting initially stunned, eventually you just get so much tenacity that it doesn't matter, that now in 3v3, you just want a bunch of health. Now, my Wampa is at 70k health with all tenacity mods. You know, health obviously on the primaries and everything, but you want him to be probably, I guess he's at 85k, never mind. I've been telling people 70k. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I mean, mine's also at relic 8, so there's a lot of health there. You probably want to get your health up to somewhere over 100k though, guys. That's probably the recommended dosage. So maybe I'm thinking of my alt that had the lower health, but one way or another, I mean, little speed, little potency never hurt. The potency, I don't know, I can't think of a time that it's really impacted my ability to win. The sad thing about tenacity, I mean, it goes away, but putting in all health mods, it can be pretty useful for Wampa. Old Wamp face, old Wamp rat. So that's the thing. Just switch from tenacity to health. Now, vice versa, Iden Versio, guys. Vice Versio, we have that was fun. I didn't intend that at all. She has her little backpack droid here that's kind of fun. Here's the thing about Iden Versio. If you had her modded for potency, again, it doesn't matter if you wanted to stun Wampa or not. Like, that's not going to make the difference. A lot of people are still using Wampa on Versio. That's fine. And now, in threes, your output is way diminished. And so what you want now with her is going to be an offense or crit damage set. You want some kind of damage set on her. And honestly, I think that in 3v or in 5v5, that's going to end up being the set that you want on her long term anyways. And once this Wampa versus Aiden thing is like kind of blows over, once this big arms race is done, you probably want damage from her anyways. Like, she does a ton of damage just on her own, and you know, she wants to boost that damage to everyone else. But in 3v3, she is literally 1/3 of the squad that's going to be doing damage. And a lot of times she's going to take a tank of some sort, either Stormtrooper or Shore. And that means that she's going to be about half the damage, because Shore Trooper, he means well, but the poor guy just doesn't do much damage unless it's he drops a grenade against Baze Malgus. Anyways, damage set, guys. I don't know if crit damage or offense set is the very best for her, but one way or another, guys, you know, crit damage. Don't judge me. I don't have 6E on everything on her, because I don't have 6E on everything, but that's what she wants. Maybe a little bit of speed if you can get it. A little bit of, I mean, and don't totally abandon potency, but that's what you want. All right, Commander Luke here. He is an interesting guy, because he can get countered by a few things. He has that squad. He has a squad now that it's like it very seldom holds that much, but it used to be really, really awesome, like one of the linchpin squads. And now it's like, well, sure, like you still need a solid team to beat it, but there are a few different things to beat it. So the biggest change for him, guys, is the fact that you're going to be facing people who are using Jedi Training Ray to beat him. And see, the thing is, there's enough counters now that to only prepare for one counter is maybe not the very wisest thing, especially in 3v3 when he's, you know, he's on the edge now of elite defensive teams. He's maybe not all the way out, but the CLS, Chupio, 3PO team is very good. The main difference, folks, is in 5v5, you want an offense arrow on him. You want tenacity on his cross, and then you want one tenacity set. You want to be somewhere over 100% tenacity. That doesn't stop in 3v3. 5v5, you want it 3v3, but the difference is 5v5, you want an offense arrow. In 3v3, you want a crit avoid arrow if you think your opponent is going to use Jedi Training Ray to counter you. The reason for that being that he already has a bunch of crit avoid, I believe, on one of his stances, and they require to be able to do. They're required to be able to do. Gosh, good grammar, Seraph. They need to do crits in order to put exposes on you, and if you don't allow them to do crits to participate in the critting that's going on, then you're going to come out ahead. So let me see. So the learn control, I believe, is the one that he gets. Yeah, so he gets 50% crit avoid already, and I don't think that his mastery is crit avoid or anything like that, but if you add another 35% to that, if they can't crit you, then you're good to go. They're not going to be putting exposes on you, and that's a huge percentage of the Jedi Training Ray damage. Now, otherwise, if they're never going to use that on you, or if you don't care, if you're like, whatever, they can just use whatever they want on me, then don't bother, I suppose. Like, putting that tenacity on him is really nice to counter that team as well, because they really need those debuffs to land. But putting crit avoid on him is the extra middle finger, the third middle finger in that you need in order to give them 3 middle fingers. So, all right, here's another one that I haven't done, folks. It's Cat. So there's interesting, like, there's 2 ways to mod her, and of course, like the mod masters, and I'm not one of them, have been able to get her pretty quick anyways. But there's 2 schools of thought. First off, Cat typically just goes with Jedi Master Kenobi. That's the context that we're talking about. If she is with like Padme, if you don't have Jedi Master Kenobi for some reason, or you just want to split them up for some reason, which I typically don't agree with that choice, but if you want to do that, that's fine. In the context of her going with Kenobi, however, you really do want her to either be super duper thick, as in like tons of health, because it's really tough to beat her in 5v5 when she just gets when she gets a ton of health, or you want her to be really, really fast so that you can snipe out the enemy cat faster. And a lot of times you can even use the R2-D2 trick to be able to put smoke onto Kenobi, and if that happens, then Cat is going to be able to snipe out their tank. They won't be able to snipe out you, and then you're going to have an advantage 3-2. So, I mean, I haven't done this yet, but here's the thing, guys. If you want fast Ahsoka, I think fast Ahsoka is better in 3s. In fact, I'm positive she is, because she's going to be able to, like I said, she uses R2-D2 to help you snipe out their tank for no losses to you. Like, it's because 3v3 is such an efficiency game at this point, you really do want her to be fast. So this isn't fast. She's got a lot of health, and I mean, she's only relic 7, so she'd probably be well over 120 if she's thick. But I think, I mean, the thing is, in 3v3 you're just way more exposed. You don't have as many components to your squads, and so a lot of times all that extra health just means that it's slowing you down. You don't have as fast of mods because you don't have speed set or anything, and when that happens, your opponent's really fast cat, or even like medium speed cat, is going to outspeed you, and then they're going to get a free, like I said, a free kill on your cat or on your tank or whatever it is if you put them on defense, and they're going to get great banners against you. So fast cat is back in style in 3v3 if you want to do it. So far I've been keeping her on offense, which makes it matter significantly less. Candaris is another one. He needs to be faster, guys. Now remember, he's got this unique, I don't remember which one it is. Yeah, okay, so when he's with, this is in the context of him with Maul. If he's with someone else, I don't really care that much, because he's not good anywhere else. But with Maul, he definitely does a lot of good work. He's not going to be with Lord Vader if that happens. But here's the thing. Whenever an enemy with a damage over time effect is damaged by an attack, Candaris gains 8% turn meter. Hooray for that! So here's the thing though, guys. This is bugged. It's been bugged. In 5v5, it's enough that he can be one of the slowest characters in the game without, you don't hardly have to put any speed on him at all. And he's fine because it's bugged. His whole team, when they're assisting Maul, is going to give him extra turn meter. So he just gains so much turn meter it goes. But that's the thing. The entire team shooting contributes to that in 5v5. In 3v3, a lot of times you have one character who's kind of like faster than the rest, but they're not usually Mandalorian. And so what they're gonna do, like they start the frenzy train from Maul. You guys know how it works. Like you put Watt in, he uses a special, Maul gets a turn, he does his AoE, and then you need one more person to trigger frenzy for Maul one more time, so that he can do 5 hits in a row. And then that's usually Candaris. The thing is, Candaris doesn't gain enough turn meter if he's ridiculously slow. And so if you want to use him with Maul, which I haven't been doing personally, but if you want to use him with Maul, you need to have him faster than this garbage speed. I just recently proved my point. People were super nervous about it, but if you want to watch my most recent GAC video, I think it was 28.4, it's the one, like, I go with Troopers, and Troopers get to go before a slow Candaris just because he doesn't gain enough turn meter to be that second frenzy boost for Maul. So that's what you need for Candaris. You need him faster. Just make him faster. And honestly, I mean, all the offense stuff, you could mod him better, or I could mod him better for sure. But at the end of the day, it's Maul who's doing all the damage. So, you know, just otherwise give him some offense stuff. But speed, guys, lots of speed, way more than plus 62. Give him, I don't know, give him another 50 speed on top of this. That's probably enough. I can't guarantee it, but I think it's going to be a lot better. Okay, so that's it for the main ones, guys. And then I just have a couple really quick principles here that I want to discuss. So first off, Ray in 5v5, you can choose to go really thick and lots of health, or you can choose to go really heavy offense. Those are the two best builds. So I tend to go with the more offense-heavy approach, and we could talk about that forever, and I don't want to do that. The thing is, in 3v3, she brings way more damage to bear just because she's only hitting 3 people with her ult instead of hitting 5 and having, because she does a spread out amount of damage. It's like, okay, Ray, you can do 1,000,000 damage, great. And she's like, cool, can I choose where it goes? And it's like, no, okay, you have to evenly distribute. Everyone gets 200,000 damage, and this is just something I'm making up in my head. I don't know if it's 1,000,000. I don't know how much she gets, but she gets a finite amount based on her offense, and then she has to spread it out evenly across the people she's hitting. In 3v3, it would make sense that she can do the same amount of damage that they give her, but she is then able to distribute that among 3 of them. So instead of 1,000,000 damage going across 5 people, it goes across 3. So it's like, okay, instead of 200,000, I'm doing 333,000 damage. That's great. So you want to do more damage. In 3v3, her ultimate just accomplishes more. And she is tougher to kill anyways in 3s against almost everything. And there's a ton of things that make her health really strong, regardless of if it, I mean, you still want it to be a bare, somewhere between 180 to 200k. Health, I think, is probably pretty good, but you want a lot of damage. And so in 3s, I would recommend remodding her to get her extra offense if you didn't already have her there. Grand Admiral Thrawn, he probably wants to be a little bit faster because he has more utility of shutting down 1/3 of the enemy team and then being able to counter and do all sorts of annoying things. So probably just want to speed him up. I know that I certainly do. Typically, I want him to be a little slower than my armorer, but because I want him to help counter the Sith Eternal squads, or using Sith Eternal to counter Jedi Master Kenobi, I should say. But he's not 20 slower. He's not 21 slower than armor here. In fact, I thought armor was on the list. No? Foiled. But you want him a little bit faster, guys. I mean, he doesn't need to be ruinously fast, but it's nice to have him a little bit quicker, just so he can jump in and help. Moff Gideon is another one. You want him, if possible, in 3v3 to be even faster. So, I mean, I kept my speed the same because this is about as fast as I can go. I could maybe get a couple more speed blips if I really cared about it, but I mean, 378 is good enough that it outspeeds almost everything, especially in 3v3 where some speed values are significantly lower, just because it depends on how many characters are in your squad. And so the thing is, him and his counters, they're all going to rely on him going first. And because in 3v3, you're usually not going to be able to use a leadership to boost it, like using Tarkin or using Veers or something, then he's going to really want to just be fast naturally. Hux, I'm just pointing out, guys, he's going to typically want to be faster, like way faster, if you're going to get the first order type pilot, Omicron. And that's just because you can counter Stir Killer. If you do that, he has to be faster than Mara Jade, which means he needs to be somewhere in the realm of 330 speed. He is not a speedy boy, though. He is the opposite of a speedy boy. He's a pale boy who probably just screen stares all the time, just like me. So, this isn't a fast Hux. He will probably be very fast next week, so that I can counter at least some Stir Killers. You need to be faster than Mara Jade. Mara Jade is typically, at my level, 365 speed or more. So, need to be faster than that. Alright, guys. What other modding tips do you guys have? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Zareth prevails.